As America completes Thanksgiving, and we are thinking of the things we're grateful for, I'm also concerned about who is it that is deliberately dividing this country? Who is polarizing America? Who is making Americans hate one another over artificial, contrived reasons? We have big tech pushing an attitude among America's different ethnic groups that they are being cheated out of the American dream and that they should hate the next ethnic group. Americans of one group are told the other group has more than their fair share. And this is an attitude pushed by big tech, by the corporate news media, by Hollywood, by academia. What I would like to ask is this simply a coincidence? Who is paying for all of this? When you see the corporate news media pushing people to hate one another, when you see the corporate news media pushing division, hatred, envy, who is it that rewards the corporate news media for this? Who is it that goes to the corporate news media and says, we will reward you with X number of dollars if you just cause this much division?
Seriously extreme.
Who is it that goes to the corporations running MSNBC, CNN, New York Times, Washington Post, the network newscasts? Who is it that goes to them and says, just make Americans hate each other a little more, and we'll reward you financially? This isn't by coincidence. I'm talking about who pays for all of this. Who pays for all of these massive corporations, for their employees to wake up every day and to ask themselves, what can I do to polarize America and divide Americans against one another? We were formerly a united country. And when you see all of this going on, of artificial division, Philadelphia hits a grim record of 500 homicides as leaders stress the victims are more than numbers. Who was it that delivered the votes for the Philadelphia district in the 2020 presidential election? Somehow, Philadelphia political leaders and Democrat activists found the votes they needed to deliver Philadelphia for Joe Biden after midnight of November 3rd, 2020. They worked hard to find those votes, which miraculously showed up in that state and several other swing states, to push Joe Biden over the top with 12 million more votes than Barack Obama did with all of his charisma. Somehow Joe Biden was more charismatic than Barack Obama. I remember President Trump offering to aid Philadelphia with their looting and mobs. Yep, Philadelphia and Pennsylvania burned last year. Donald Trump offered to help, to send more police, to send more law enforcement. He was rejected. So the Democrats won it all. What did they exactly win? Now the Democratic Party is represented by the lawless mob. You'll know something's a national crisis when it's treated as a local news story. San Francisco has flash mobs of Democrats looting and destroying. And this is what you voted for, Democrat America. You voted to destroy America. You voted to turn our country into a Balkanized state. Balkanize. To divide a region or body into smaller, mutually hostile states or groups. Balkanization is the fragmentation of a larger region or state into smaller regions or states, which may be hostile or uncooperative with one another. Folks, this is the Democratic Party in charge of your nation. They're going to bring this to all of the 50 states, and they don't care who gets killed, who gets slaughtered in the process. All that matters to these people is divide and conquer, divide Americans against one another, and profit off of the division that they artificially created. Look at this sick news team at ABC News. Arbery Rittenhouse cases spotlight self-defense and vigilantism. They politicize everything. They turn everything that they can to the advantage of the progressive, woke left and the needs of the Democratic Party. But who's paying for all of this? Who rewards them financially for destroying our country? Someone must be rewarding big tech and the corporate news media. This can't be just happening by random chance and random coincidence. You have every news outlet doing everything they can to make Americans hate one another, to make Americans kill one another. Why is this being done? Because someone is going to profit off of a divided America. We have many enemies. It's a simple fact that there are countries in the world who would financially benefit if the United States was weakened, was lessened somehow, was reduced to third world status. It's a simple fact. There are countries that would dearly love to see America reduced, and they will donate in any way they can to the political parties in America who will destroy and lessen our country. If they can break America apart, they reap massive rewards. If someone else, such as China or Russia or Iran, can become the world's next superpower at the expense of the United States, they'll do it. And when you see the results of the Democratic Party winning the 2020 presidential election and winning nominal control over our country in Washington, D.C., you can understand why they place a priority on punishing anyone who opposes the power of the Democratic Party. They're not working for you. They're working for whoever is paying for our country to be wrecked. Call it a goal, call it common cause, but there is a reason that America's corporate elites are turning you against your neighbor. Someone is going to make big money off of that, and they don't care if America is destroyed in the process. What can you do about this? Show up to vote in the midterms next year. Show up to vote in the 2024 election. If you don't, they'll do it to you all over again, just like they stole power last year. And they're killing Americans to maintain that power. Those who lied and cheated and stole elections last year will use any means to maintain their power for years to come. It's up to you whether you want to fight for this country or let the evil triumph. Thank you.